Greetings, rebels of the interwebs. Me? I'm just taking deep breaths. Yeah, working in this studio can be pretty intense time from time. Sometimes I just like to relax and take deep breaths. The problems aren't going to go away the more you cry wolf, so just take a deep breath with me, alright? Deep breath in. And out. Doesn't that feel nice? Now that you're relaxed, get ready for me to bring you all the biggest mind I could ever come up with. In this show, Robot Analysis, we're going to take a journey through fixing the muckiness that people usually go through my age, or at least the generation of the Z. Speaking of Z, did anyone really figure out the letter after Z? I'm still figuring that one out too. Alright, everyone open your textbooks, turn to page 270, grab it from the top here, then tear it in half. We don't read here. The whole point is to appeal to Gen Z. We as a younger audience need to have our brains braining and our muscles muscling. So let me start our journeys through fixing ourselves by giving y'all guys the most basic of basic philosophy lessons. And just to show that I'm not pulling anything out of my ass, everything's discussed here in this episode that come from a third-party source, not from me, will be cited at the credits of this video and in the description below, just to show you that I'm getting my sources. So listen up. If you're watching this video, chances are you like to think, like I do. But how do you think? Do you know how to think? Yeah, you're thinking about this question, but are you really thinking about it? That's philosophy, the study of thought, thinking. Who are we? Who am I? Who are you? Who is that one cousin that shows up at the family Christmas party that goes all like, oh, good golly gee, I've known y'all since you were a fetus, and you're all just confused because, like, you don't really know them the slightest? Well, maybe not that one. But philosophy is all about the mind and how we think. Not the science like psychology does, but more like what's broad and unexplainable. Fun fact, I'm deathly afraid of the unknown, which probably explains why I'm so eager to understand philosophy. It kinda gives me a reason why I don't know shit. So where does philosophy come from? Where does it go? Where does it come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Believe it or not, we started with an old man from the West. He very old. He Socrates is what I would say if he was Socrates. No, I always thought Socrates was the first philosopher from the West, but it's actually Thales, dating Socrates from about this many years, about 78. His whole deal was, what is everything made of deep down, breaking down the most fundamentals from its start. Socrates came after Thales in the journey of philosophy. Then he became a philosopher. Have you ever asked why? Why about anything, really? Well, that's a Socrates for you. His whole thing was questioning everything about how everything became everything. I found it weird because he was technically a teacher, but he never really taught anything. He just asked a bunch of questions and students took notes of his answers. One of those students was Plato, who looked at Socrates' way of thinking and went all like, yeah, I hear you, Socrates, but like your way of thinking about life is just so broad. Yeah, so you have eyes to see and you have a mouth to talk, yeah. But hear me out with your ears that are there so you can hear me out. You need to think of the bigger picture. How does that function benefit me, our world, our society? Plato was more focused on the fact that us as humans have a function overall, rather than the eyes can do things and so can my hands. My very round, Bomberman-like hands. The creator never drew fingers on me. Socrates was all like, nah man, you're reaching too far. Stay grounded on the basics. Plato just said, you instead of Fortnite dancing on his teacher. And then you have Aristotle, who was a student of Plato, who looked at Plato and was all like, you're just so judgmental. Yeah, life has its own functioning in the grand scope of everything, but think of it like this. What function does life serve on its own as its own thing? You're talking about how life is all encompassed for the greater good, but what is life's function in relation to itself? Confusing? Well, to simplify it, Socrates asks about the whole picture. Plato asks about the specifics in terms of the whole picture, and Aristotle asks about the picture itself rather than its specifics. This is how I interpret it. However, this is why I love philosophy. No one answer is right based on how it's interpreted. With all that being said, I want to be a philosopher. I see people like Aristotle, Socrates, Lao Tzu, and Sun Tzu, and I'm just like, I want to be one. I want to tell my own philosophy and become the new American philosopher. Ooh, I could be the first animated philosopher. That sounds epic, right? Yes, I still say epic. F*** you. And here's what I like to call the RoboSpective theory. This is my new philosophical ideal that showcases that everyone is right and everyone is wrong based on the perspective that you're looking at it. Depending on who is believing on what they believe in, people will believe the correct way in their own eyes. I'll give 2 examples in this regard, one lighthearted and one more serious. And by 2 examples, I mean 1 because I really don't know how to bring this seriously. Let's just say there's a guy that we'll call A. He's never seen a brick. A brick. He's never seen a brick. Someone tells this guy that it's actually a sphere. So because A has never seen a brick before, he calls it a sphere. And then we have guy B. B knows that bricks exist. B walks up to A and sees this brick. A asks him, check out my sick-ass sphere. And B is confused, perplexed. B's all like, actually that's a brick. They bicker because they both know that thing as 2 different objects. The RoboSpective theory showcases that in A's eyes, he's right that it's a sphere. And in B's eyes, he's right in that it's a brick. It showcases that A's and B's experiences and knowledge within them, they're both correct in their own eyes. The common societal knowledge would say that this thing is definitely a brick. However, A and B both believe themselves to be right, therefore they are in their own individual minds. Of course, we all know this is a brick, but in my eyes, I know it's a brick, and A is wrong. A doesn't know they're wrong, intentionally ignorant, and will believe that they are right. The best way to tackle this theory and apply it in this situation is to see it through A's RoboSpective. Doing so can help you easier educate and show that this thing is not in fact a sphere, but brick. You get what I mean? Obviously, the RoboSpective theory can't be applied to everything. However, hopefully learning the RoboSpective can really help you guys see life through other people's shoes. And to help you guys remember the RoboSpective theory, I created a wonderful song that you can sing to the kids to help them remember as well.
The RoboSpective theory is a theory for all of you. The RoboSpective theory is all that you need to do. The RoboSpective theory is all you need to know. And if you don't follow my theory, I will slit all of your motherfucking ass son of a looking pieces of shit coming out of a motherfucking ass that you call a piss and fucking wannabe ass motherfucking throat. Yeah, parents, make sure you read that one to the kids. Monitor the shit they watch anyways.
Is this seat taken? Oh, what are you doing here? You know, I ask myself that every day. But you would know that, huh?